So we're going to start a new series, and it's going to be on Motorsport Manager. And we're going to start out with a new career, and we're going to basically start our own racing team. So I've downloaded, there are 2 free DLCs for Motorsport Manager, and I've got both of those installed here, the livery pack and create a new team. And we're going to do that. And I've thought about basically how will I present this. And basically I've decided to present this with no mods. As you can see, there's several mods that you can add in Steam. But I've decided to present with this with no mods. And we're going to do the tutorial. I've already went through an entire season. So I kind of know what to expect. And I'm going to have the tutorial on just for you guys, so y'all can kind of get an idea of how this game works. It is very in-depth and everything, so we're going to leave the tutorial on. For the sake of the recordings, we're going to do a medium length race, and we're going to do American units. So we're going to go ahead and put in our name. And we're just going to put in some fake date just for funsies. There we go. And just to continue the theme, states we can be, we are the team manager, as you can get from a Motorsport Manager of the game. So we're basically making our own character here, and we can be either a ex-driver, ex-engineer, financial, political person, or no bonuses at all. We're pretty much an unknown, and each has their own benefit. Say an ex-engineer with build time of less than 1 day, or minus 1 day, would be pretty useful. I'm going to pick ex-driver just because I think it makes the game a little bit easier. Payments minus 5%. That could be quite useful also as we go along. We're going to just pick a couple things here. Ourselves a give ourselves a decent haircut. We're going to sport the semi-scruff, and we'll put on some stylish glasses. And like I said, we're going to do create a team. There's also 2 DLCs you can get for the GT and Endurance series, but we're just going to use the single seater. And there are 3 series that we could do within single seater. We're going to go ahead and pick World Motorsport Championship. Why not go for the top, right? There we go. So now we get to design our own car. And Farmer Racing just sounds stupid. I'm going to go with that. And we're going to pick US team. And there we go. Now we're going to pick our logo. And see, there's several different logos. I've got one in mind here. I like this one. Slick and to the point. And we're already going to go with a yellow color there. And I'm not really sure. This is kind of a burnt orange, maybe, color. We go with that color as our secondary color. And then our team uniform. We're gonna continue the theme here. And pair of racing stripes because I kind of like that hat. Then we're going to pick our car livery. Again, this is because I'm creating my own team. If I wasn't creating a team, then you would kind of have your own livery. There's multiple liveries here. We're going to go with free livery DLC, which are these. Pretty cool. What I'm looking for is number 12. It's almost Halloween when I'm recording this particular video. Let's go with this skull theme. And I've already got just some general colors that I think make this look kind of neat. At least it looks neat to me. We're going to just go with those. No. Trim color. That looks pretty good. And light sponsor, dark sponsor, we'll just keep that. And now we need to pick, basically, how are we going to start? Are we going to start with low, medium, or high pressure? I'm going to go with medium pressure. Cool logo. Alright, and we're going to jump right into the first race. We're going to be in tutorial mode. So it's going to give us lots of information here in our first race to help us out. And the first video is basically going to take us through our first race and a bit of the tutorial after that. Then we'll basically come back for a second race. Then each week we'll just basically start up just ending the previous race and working our way up to race week, going through qualification or practice, qualification, and the race itself, and then that will be the video for the week. So here, welcome to the race. This tutorial will teach you the most important principles of motorsport management. Sit tight, you'll be making high pressure pit stop calls before you know it. Okay, so our drivers are down here. Okay, these are our two drivers. The aim of the game is to guide them to glory. The higher they finish in the race, the more points you will get. Get more points than anyone else, and you'll win the championship. I don't know if we'll win the championship our first year. Let's take a look at our drivers on the grid. You can focus the camera by clicking on their portrait. Second place. Now let's see where our other driver qualified. And 5th place. Now you can see where our drivers qualified on the grid. Let's get this show on the road. The 5 lights go out. It is go time. So, what a dramatic start. Soon, we'll start telling your drivers what to do. First, let's take a minute to look around and enjoy the view. So the left mouse button will rotate the camera and scroll wheel will zoom in and out. So I've got 3D on. So you can see we can change our views around here. Zoom in. Zoom out. Go to our other driver here. Okay, so you can deal with fuels, tires, and intensity. Tires, each car has its own set of tires, which wear down as the driver makes its way around the track. Fresh set of tires is 100%. Allows the car to go faster than worn tires, 45%. Tires become very worn, car goes much slower than its full potential. The more a driver is pushing, the hotter the tires get. Shown on the gauge, the faster they will deteriorate. So here we have fairly cold tires, then we have hot tires. Each car has its own fuel tank. The bottom number is how much fuel you will have at the end of the race if you carry on with your current strategy. If this number is negative, it means that you're going to run out of fuel before the end of the race. It's very important to keep an eye on this. The bar represents the amount of fuel you have. The center of the bar means you have fuel left in the tank. It would be this color right here. The arrow shows how quickly your driver is burning fuel. The more arrows, burning fuel more quickly. Let's change the driver's intensity. Okay, so we click on strategy. This panel is where you can make quick strategic calls while the drivers are out on the racetrack. There are two areas: driving style and engine mode. Driving style impacts how quickly your tires wear out. This panel allows you to change how bold and risky your driver is. The more intense a strategy, the more chances he or she will take to get to the front. However, the more intense the strategy, the greater the toll on your tires. Each choice shows how much of an impact it will have on your tires, shown by the arrows next to each choice. Wearing through your tires quickly means you will need to make a pit stop sooner, so be careful not to push your drivers too hard. Change the driving to attack. Engine mode impacts your fuel burn rate. This panel allows you to decide how hard to push the car. Pushing harder allows the car to go faster, but also burns fuel quicker. As with driving style, these arrows indicate how intense each choice is. The more bars you see, the faster you'll burn through fuel. Remember, if you run out of fuel before the end of the lap, the race will be ruined. Set to high. These buttons, you can set team orders. You can let your drivers fight for each position with the race button, or prioritize one driver with the allow teammate through. If one of your drivers is holding up the other, team orders could be a solution. Oh man, smashing. Driver will now be pushing the car a little more around the track. The extra boost in speed should really help. Keep an eye on tire wear and fuel levels though. These will now drop a bit faster. So we can also change to a 2D view. Depending on your graphics, 2D may be preferred over 3D. So we can pause or resume the race at any time using the pause and play button. We can also speed up the race. So obviously 28 laps is going to take some period of time. So we can hit 2x to basically go twice as fast. Or we could just use our keyboard. Alright. So we can do 3D. So if your graphics card has issues running 2D mode, you could just do, or 3D mode, you can do 3D. Or you can go to 3D here. Alright, so we're going to drop him back to medium. And we're just going to make him push. This one, I'm going to go to high. Alright. Blimey, your tires are looking pretty worn out. You see they're at 30%. This one was at 87%, I think. Let's bring them in for a pit stop where you can change their tires. So we click pit. Let's go through making a pit stop. This is the driver panel, which shows you 3 important bits of information. Current race position, fourth. Tire wear, 30%. And fuel level. Okay. stint refers to the laps that your driver has done in their current set of tires. Okay, 1 lap. After you complete a pit stop, the new stint will be created. Entry will be created. This allows you to compare your driver's pace on various different tires, which can really come in handy. So picking which type of tire is a crucial part to any race day strategy. There are a number of different tires known as compounds. Softer tires are generally faster but wear more quickly. Intermediate tires are for light rain or a damp track. And wet tires are for heavy rain or a very wet track. These tires are the fastest we can use at the moment, so let's get a fresh pair. Click on the part condition drop down. You can check on our driver's parts. Each part of your car has its own condition level. This allows you to see the health of each part. The red area near the end of the bar shows the part's danger zone. If the part enters the danger zone, its condition may drop suddenly. If the part's condition reaches 0, they will break down. So it wants us to fix the gearbox. So this will add condition back to the part when pit stop happens. Let's hit fix part. Click on pit strategy. Then the last choice is how fast your pit stop should be. The faster the pit stop, the more chance there of your pit crew making a mistake. If the pit crew makes a mistake, the car won't break. It will simply add a lot more time to the particular stop. If you're in a close battle with the top of the leaderboard, it might be worth taking the risk of a quick stop. So click safe. You can see our pit stop is going to be 36 seconds because we're doing that part repair. Alright, so then we hit pit to tell the driver to enter the pits next time around. The pit icon next to the driver's portrait shows that they are now scheduled to head into pit lane. We follow this guy around. We'll see when he gets to pit lane. He will dive into the pits. There, he dove into the pits. This panel shows you what's going on during the pit stop. Here, including the progress of your fuel, tire, and condition work. See any of these icons? Means your mechanics have made a mistake, and the pit stop will be running slower than planned. Got our tires changed. See our gearbox is being repaired. Meanwhile, everyone is driving away. Okay, we are done. You're now in last place. You can also check on the gearbox. Going to the condition tab. See the gearbox is now at 74%. Alright, sector time. So the typical race track will have 3 sectors. Before our driver starts feeling neglected, let's check up on them. Looking at sector time shows us how their lap is going. Each circuit is broken up into 3 sectors. White square means that they haven't beaten their best time. Green square means they've achieved a new personal best. Purple means that they've driven the sector faster than any other driver on the track. Alongside sectors is pace. Pace shows you how your driver's current lap compares at this point on the lap to their previous best. Plus 0.593 indicates that the driver is currently slower than their best lap by over half a second. Minus 2.041 shows that the driver is currently faster by over 2 seconds. Each driver has form, which fluctuates throughout the race. The more consistent a driver is, the more stable the form will be. Happier drivers are also more likely to have good form. 5 and 5.9 says this is out of 10. Oh. You're in last place. Let's go back. You 13th place. Let's do this. Zoom out a little bit. Let's go to 4x time. Let's just speed things up a little bit. Keep an eye on tire wear. These two guys. There's a lot more to the game that hasn't been exposed to us. That's for sure. Alright. These tires are getting hot, so let's lower his pushing. The mini map is a way of seeing where the rest of your rivals are on the track. Clicking on different drivers in the mini map will move the camera to them. Current standings. If you want to see the bigger picture, you better check out the standings widget. Another important part of race weekend comes from sponsors. Manage to meet your sponsors' objectives, you will be rewarded with a nice pile of cash. Sponsor's objective is always a target position, so do your best to meet it. Weather. You can feel a few drops of rain in the air. Let's check the weather panel to see how bad it's going to get. Looks like we're going to get some rain. To see how much water is on the track by checking out the water on a track panel. Since rain's coming, let's switch to intermediates. Pit. Part of the manager's job is to react to weather conditions, fitting the most appropriate tires for the situation that you find yourself in. Pick intermediates, and you can see this. These are good for 12 to 14 laps of a light to medium wet track. Rest of the pit stop. I'll leave the rest of the pit stop to you. Don't forget to check your car's condition. Might want to check. Right. They all look good. We have safe. Pit stop's going to take 4 seconds. Balanced, 4 seconds. Fast, 3 seconds. Since it's not going to basically, well, 4.5 versus, just go safe. Now, pit. Might want to change your second driver's tires too, but that's up to you. Let's see. Track grip. One factor which affects your speed of your track is grip level. Cars drive, they lay down rubber onto the track. If this is high, all of the cars can go a bit faster. When it rains, however, the rubber washes away, making the track slower again. So, I think it's just going to rain for a little bit. I think I'm going to leave this guy out because he needs to catch up. It's just a strategy I'm going to employ. He's got intermediates. Cool, we got a little spray off the tires there. That's pretty neat. Got water on the lens. Far behind are you? Yeah, you're way behind. You're not too good a place either. See the tire history, so we can see how many laps each driver has been on which kind of lap. What's affecting their race performance? Hovering over the clipboard will show you the currently impact to them. The rest of the race is up to you. Have a click around and get some points on the board. Alright, we'll try. So we can see with our tire history that Holtz has been on the softs for 7 laps. Gillen has been on mediums for 2 and softs for 5, etc. So it stopped raining, so the track is just going to dry up now. Here you can see the points championships, drivers championships, and then our current standings. All kinds of statistics. Tell you to attack, pit. How many we got? We got 20 laps to go. Need to make up time, so let's go to hards for now. We're gonna push. Got him pushing till we get around to the pits. Put on hard, so they're the slowest of the tires, but you'll be able to stay out longer. Let's bump you up a little bit. Let's go back to this guy. So again, as I was saying, detailed standings will show us everyone's last lap speed, the gap back to the next position, the gap to the leader, number of stops that they've done. Right. With the track drying out, it's telling me that I need to get him back on regular tires again. 18 laps. I'm going to put him on hards also, because we're going to play the strategy of minimizing pit stops and see if that gets us anywhere. I'll put him on hards. Conserve. I'll put you on conserve. Okay. Forecast looks good. Look like we're gonna have any more weather. And then the other thing that we have to really to look at here is this data center. And boy, does this give us all kinds of information. We can see basically our position. Pick our guy here. See that he started in 13th and pretty quickly fell to 19th where he took a pit. And he worked his way up to 11th. Then he pitted again and went down to 19th, and that's where he is currently. All kinds of cool stuff here. See lap charts. See how long is it taking for us to go through each particular lap. Gap to the leader. Obviously, start of the race, our gap is short, and our gap is growing. Pit stop history. Speed on pit stops. Speed breakdowns. Now, in this series, we don't refuel. So, all kinds of statistics to keep us busy. Sector timings. Tire history. So, this is where we swap tires and what tire we put on and how many laps we have on that tire currently. How many tires we have in our arsenal. So we can have 15 tires for the race weekend. See, we can have a various combination of tires. This is the commentary. I want to go back and see what that is. Here's the current standings. And current results. Qualifying. Race results obviously don't exist yet, but we can see where we qualified. We can see how well we did in practice, etc. Let's go back and go to 4x speed. Just see how we do here. Got quite the gap. See, here's our tire levels. Got a couple guys here on mediums. Got some on used hard tires. So we can see this guy just pitted. We can see the little pit came up next to him. Got a couple folks on soft tires. So we'll just have to play this out and see how things work. Now, we could bump this up to neutral. Both of you get a neutral. It's basically saying you couldn't get enough heat in his tires for them to be effective. My goal is I want him to see if we can get to the end of the race without pitting again. Gillen, it might be hard to, because he's at 75%. Is an option to go to 12x that we'll unlock here in a little bit. Now it's just kind of sit back and watch the show. See how many positions we can pick up just by not pitting. 12 laps left. I have to pick Gillen, but he's so far out of the race it won't matter. The 15th. Now, they're on medium tires. Hopefully they won't be faster than us. We don't want to lose positions. That's for sure. So there is a pit delta. I'm not sure how much the pit delta is. It's probably about 20 seconds. So when Holtz pits, he's probably just going to drop to third, like he is right now. He's pitting. So he's come out of the pits and he's in second because of that delta. He came out right in front of our driver. He's on softs. He's probably going to have to pit again. Like I said, if we can keep our hard tires, hopefully we can ink out a better finish than we could have if we kind of pitted match for match, pit for pit. These guys. Hard tires just don't want to give heat. Typically in a race like this, where there isn't a lot to do between pit stops, I would go to 12x speed once we get that unlocked. Seven laps left. Click on this guy. We can see about Quez. See, he's going hard and normal. Roberto, he's at 20%. He's going to be pitting. 19% tires. See when he pits. We'll pass him. Now we have picked up 12th place. Because of that, where are we at? 4 laps left, 5 laps remaining. His tires aren't going to last. Might as well bring him on in. Some softs. He's pretty much a lost cause. We don't have to worry about. There's no way he's going to. There's no way he's going to improve his position. This is where we need to be paying attention. 3 laps left. Uh-oh. I want to run out of fuel. And minus 0.31. Hit you. Not have twists. Just go on. Did not have the best crew here. So we're probably going to drop back to 19th place. Not much we can do. Nineteenth place, all right. It's okay. We can only improve from here. Right? Final lap. See how his 13 seconds quicker. Second faster in my second sector. That was pretty bad. Pretty bad, but that's okay. Starting up a new team, we don't have the best drivers or the best staff. Chart. Scrutineering. This is where we're going to see if we broke any rules. Right. See, there we are. Absolute bottom. No points. No team points. Then once we're done, we kind of get this media report. We get some messages. So let's get a kind of a little press summary here. And then we're going to be taken into kind of a team and management screen. Here's our team management screen. Welcome back to your base of operations. This is where you'll develop your car, sign new drivers, and manage everything that goes into your efforts at the race weekend. The side of the screen shows you an overview of your drivers as well as your chairman's happiness. Tip, you can roll over drivers' icons to see an overview of their stats. Chairman's happiness reaches rock bottom, you might find yourself out of a job. If your chairman happy, and on the other hand, and you may have a little more money to spend. Oh my, we are the worst. This graph shows you where your team stands in relation to the rest of the teams in the championship. Bar reaches to the top of the graph, it means your team is the best. Keep these bars up to the top is not everything, but it'll give you the best chances of success on race day. Get a glimpse of which race is coming up next, and also check current standings. MotorSport teams compete on two fronts: Drivers' Championship and Team Championship. Let's check on teams. Bottom. Team's Championship is where your prize money comes from at the end of the season. So arguably more important than Drivers' Championship. For detailed information and standings and the calendar, check out the standings screen. This panel also shows you what your current work is currently your team is doing. It's empty. I think we're going to have to do something about that. Continue button is important. Clicking it will take you to any unread emails or items around the team which need urgent attention. Alright, so we get emails from our team, the press, and all kinds of other folks. Also receive mail from journalists who also want your opinion on current events. Click on the car button. This is your car. It's our car, right? Car is rated in two different ways. First, we have the car stats, which can change every time you build a new part. Car is ranked on 6 different stats: top speed, acceleration, and deceleration, low, medium, and high speed corners. Top speed, acceleration, deceleration, low, medium, and high speed corners. Also see the overall ranking of your car. Getting those bars to the top is the name of the game. Chassis stats. Suppliers are decided at the end of each season, where you can dictate the look and feel of your car. You don't have to worry about that for a few months. See, we're at 2 tire wears, 2 1/3 fuel efficiency, 2 in improvability, and 2 1/3 in tire heating. Designing new parts for your car makes a difference between the average team and a good one. Want to be the best. Click on Design Part. Choice between 6 parts, each of which impacts a different stat on the car. Parts is lagging behind the rest. Maybe it's time to build a new one. Each race favors different stats. You can see which parts are going to be crucial to the next race. Developing those parts should give you the upper hand come race day. Given that the part is crucial to the next race, I think building a new one is a good idea. Build a new brake. Each part essentially boils down to 2 elements: performance, how good the part is at its job, and reliability, how long will it last. The designers have stats for each part, which are added to each part's starting performance value. Each part also has a maximum performance level, which is the second number. Number is defined by the improvability of your car, which is the chassis stat, and improve the performance of your parts in the part development, which we'll talk about later. Likewise, each part has a maximum reliability, 2 capped at 100%. The slot which gets filled. This is a slot which gets filled with components, building blocks of any part. Here we are, the lovely assortment of components. You add one to a slot, it will boost your part's stats. As you're making your first parts of the season, you can currently only access average parts. To unlock more powerful sets, simply build another part of this type. Components in this column are specific to designers. They cost no money and add no time to build the part. If your designer leaves, they will take their components with them. On the other hand, signing a new designer might come in handy. Some components can increase the risk of your rule breaking. These are usually very powerful components. Go for a risky component, then there's a chance you will get away with it. Scrutineering, which comes after the race, defines whether you will or will not get caught. Sometimes bending the rules can be worth it. Okay, now it's time to make your choice. We want tire wear efficiency improved. We want lower tire wear. We want deceleration by 20, or do we want higher reliability? You don't want to have to repair the brakes, basically, in the middle of a race. Well, acceleration. Okay, slot's been filled. A little bit. Now you can see good components, which will be able to use when you build your next part of this type. When you build a third part of this type, you'll unlock great components and so on. Build time and costs have been updated. 5.9 days, 5 days before the next race, and it's going to cost $550,000. Get on that. Let's click part. Finances. This pop-up will let you know whether you are receiving or sending money. If you'd like to get a full breakdown on your current financial situation, you can always go to the finances screen. Let's confirm payment. It's a new part in production. Alright, we're designing a new part. It's going to take a few days. Let's get time ticking a bit so we can see what to do when the part is finished. Look below, you can see calendar entry for the time when your new part is going to finish. Finished building a new part. Let's fit it to one of our cars. Here we are. Place where you decide which part you're taking race. We'll fit parts. Okay. This list shows you all the parts in your current factory. As you add more, the list is going to get pretty hefty. Can basically see the performance and the condition of every part. And you can see which car is going to get fitted to the part. Let's put car 1. Brakes on car 1. Also, fit parts by clicking these buttons. Smooth, so it takes you. Let's press the back button. See now that the average brakes are on car 1. And performance, purple and orange. More performance, the bigger the piece of pie is. Reliability. See, the new brakes are not very reliable compared to the old brakes. See what our driver thinks about the part selection. This car is rubbish. This car is better than Terra's. Know how to design new parts and fit them to your car. Okay. You can improve your parts in 2 ways: performance and reliability. You have 2 sub-teams who can do this. Performance team, tune your parts up, increasing their main stat. Top speed for engine, acceleration for gearbox, etc. These parts will be improved to their maximum performance value, which is decided in the part design process. Reliability. Reliability team is all about making your parts more reliable. Again, each part has a maximum reliability, so you can only be improved up to your maximum. The side of the screen shows you all your parts that you currently have. There's filters. All the parts that are just on his car. So let's improve our new brakes. Q. To unlock more improvement slots, you need to upgrade your factory for reliability. Design for performance. Each team is led by one of 2 race mechanics who contribute a chunk of work according to their stats. For example, a mechanic with great performance rating will speed up the work being done in that area. Swap mechanics around to take advantage of other stats. Slider bar allows you to way work towards one team or the other. Staff impact is going up, reducing the time that it'll take to do this work. Do not want to decide which parts to improve yourself? The autofill button will grab your mechanics, what your mechanic thinks are the best parts to improve, and add them to the free slots. It's the stuff. Let's see how you've added these new parts. Clear a part in a queue by rolling over it and clicking the X. Or you could clear it by clicking clear to clear the whole queue. And now they're gone. So, we want to improve the reliability of our brakes because I don't want to have to repair brakes in the middle of the race. Alright, so if we allocate all 10 staff to reliability, then 21 days after the race. Well, that's not very good. Just deal with it. Let's look at these. Repair finished. Got an upcoming report on the next race. That later. So drift, which is going to add 1 to cornering and 5 to marketability. It's pretty cool. So he wants a wind tunnel. And that's where our brakes. Okay. Here we are. we could apply for a job already. It's funny. Headquarters. So we're just going to go ahead and walk through the rest of these, and then we'll close out the video for the day. Welcome to the headquarters. This is your team's base of operations. By improving existing buildings and building new ones, you can improve the overall quality of your team. You can upgrade buildings by hitting a max till they hit a max level. Upgrading them will increase your team's knowledge in that area, so that you want to max out team, you'd better get to upgrading. Let's have a look at which buildings you can upgrade. 2 buildings you currently have, you can also see whether or not you can upgrade them. Clicking on any building will give you more information on what they will do, you'll gain by upgrading them. But to build new buildings, you can click on the new building instead. That is for the headquarters. You should be able to upgrade existing buildings and build new ones. So the factory, 8 million to upgrade. Get plus 10 part development staff. Factory, 4 extra part improvement slots. And we unlock a whole bunch of stuff. This is minus 0.3 days into part design. And we can unlock a whole bunch of other stuff. New buildings. You can build a staff center. Improves drivers' fitness, focus, and improves staff stats. Scouting facility. Lets us scout more drivers. And a forecasting center. Improve weather reports and allowing you to see weather patterns forming much earlier. Right, and see how long it takes to build each one of those. How long it takes to upgrade. Oh my gosh, 20 weeks. Upgrade these. Let's see our headquarters. Let's go ahead and upgrade our factory. $8 million. Gone. And let's upgrade our design center. See, we also, cost per race goes up significantly. Okay. New buildings. All right, we'll just leave those for now. Team. Chairman is fairly happy. We got 2.1 million fan base. That's pretty cool. Job is secure, so we have one driver's almost 3 stars. 2 drivers are about the same level. Our reserve driver is 1.5 stars. Lead designer and our race mechanics leave a lot to be desired. That's for sure. Okay. Welcome to the driver's screen. This is a place where you'll want to see more information about your drivers. You can see all of your drivers and some basic information about them. Buttons will allow you to look at the depth stats and compare them with other drivers. Here we have a comparison of your 2 drivers' results in the season thus far. So see which one is coming out on top. Drivers' contract details are very important to your spending. You can also see various options to do with their contract. See how much they charge, we pay them per race, how much we have to pay to get out of their contract, the duration of their contract. Reserve driver is a backup to your main 2 drivers. You can use the reserve driver in practice, which will allow them to develop their skills. If you're having problems with one of your 2 drivers, perhaps you might want to promote reserve driver to a race seat. Click on the driver's detail button or the driver's portrait to see more information about your driver. Driver screen, if you want to find out everything you can about a driver, you're right place. Basic information about the driver. Favorite driver. Find them easier later. These stats are what makes the driver tick, directly impacting the way that they drive during the race. Driving stats fluctuate depending on where they are in their career and which buildings you have in your headquarters. Rolling over the stat bars shows you some information about the stat and whether or not the driver is improving in that area. Drivers have different personality traits, each of which impacts their stats. All drivers are human and they may gain and lose traits during the course of their career. You can see who the driver's mechanic is. You can also see the relationship with the driver. Marketability is how attractive the driver is to sponsors. Here you can see the driver's current form as well as a list of their historical season results. Not the best staff that we get start out with. Pit crew. Alright, so just like our staff, we have pit crew. And our pit crew will get, we haven't gotten the the tutorial page on this. But basically, we have pit crew and then we have reserves. And as our pit crew travel, they wear down stamina, and we can hire more pit crew. They're all pretty bad crew. All right, so we've got the front jack, rear jack, 4 tire changers, and we have 2 mechanics. So obviously you want these numbers to be as high as we can in our given area. And we don't want to become too fatigued, or they will basically have errors. Scouting. Scouting screen is the place where you go to search for new staff members. You can scout out potential new drivers, mechanics, and designers. Whopping list of all the drivers your team currently knows about. To get the biggest pool of drivers to choose from, upgrade your scouting facility in the headquarters. These filters are really helpful if you want to narrow down your search. You can also sort by clicking on the column headers. All drivers have different ability levels. This represents their current stats. You can also see the driver's potential, which is shown on how many they can improve over their career. Solid stars are ability, and the outline stars are potential. We don't know about any drivers. Designers, so you can see this designer has a lot of capability of improving. So this designer is clearly pretty dang good. Almost $5 million to get out of the contract and almost $600,000 per race. I think they're a little bit out of our money pool. What's wrong with this one? 4 stars, could be 5. What? I would like to hire you because you are pretty bad. Pretty dang bad. All right. Let's see, what are we paying? $800 a race. Oh my gosh, that's awful. All right. Let's see here. On a long contract. You're unproven. Let's do this. Let's pay you $211,000. 21 months. 105 up front. Let's pitch it. So we sent her a proposal. We'll see what she comes back with. Scouting. Let's look at race mechanics. This mechanic is pretty dang good. 4 stars. Unemployed. Let's look at all the It's clearly we need to build a race. We need to build our team. We're given like bare bones, drivers and everything. So obviously it's all designed around building your team here. So 3 stars. Go with this one. This one, they're pretty even. She's not got any ability to improve. This guy can improve. see him. Let's compare him. Comparison screen, we can compare. So here shows you the info of the member of the staff you've compared against. Then we can compare to people we're compare. So we can see where she is at, and we can see where this guy's at. Far better in all kinds of let's approach this person. What are we paying these guys? $800 a race. Yeah, okay. Let's give her 50,000. A signing fee isn't very important. Well, let's give you a signing fee anyway. Let's see if you bite. Okay. And how well you do with that. Worst you can do is reject it. Right? Okay. Drivers. We don't have a clue how any of these drivers are. Do we have any unemployed drivers? We do. Alright, let's scout some drivers. Let's start out with this guy. This guy. This guy. We'll queue up some. Alright, we'll just queue up some drivers. Okay. Finances. So we can see now where we are with our finances. Okay, we don't want to request additional funds. Make him not very happy, and he'd only give us $2.5 million. Sponsors. We need some sponsors. MotorSport is an eye-wateringly expensive, so you're going to need some sponsors. You don't want to drive your chairman insane by dipping into the red. They will offer you a tidy sum of cash for race weekend in return for hitting certain targets. Deals last for a number of races, so in an ideal world, you will have all of your sponsorship slots filled at all times. Alright, got 6 slots. Each slot defines where sponsors will be placed on the car, and some are more lucrative than others. Right hand contains fixed payment sponsors. These sponsors will pay a set amount each race regardless of where you finish. Then the left-hand box contains race bonus sponsors. These sponsors will provide bigger payouts, but you must meet the race targets in order to win cash. Okay. Marketability is the measure of how attractive your team is to sponsors. It's comprised of your team's standing and your main two drivers' marketability. If you have a pair of unmarketable drivers, you're going to have a hard time picking up top sponsors. When deciding which sponsor offer to go for, keep an eye on certain things. If you want some money fast, you'd better keep an eye on the amount that the sponsors are offering you up front. On the other hand, you might want to secure a more lucrative sponsor bonus. This is often linked to how difficult the bonuses are to achieve. You can even pick up a sponsor with easy bonuses if you find them difficult to achieve over a race weekend. You basically know how to do sponsors, so keep your eyes peeled for good deals. Alright, let's look at our sponsors. Peach Plum wants to pay us $350,000 per race for 9 races. That's not bad. It's just under $3.5 million over 9 races. Let's take that one. Right. Bango wants to give us $1.5 million up front. 11 race deal. Eve Technology wants to give us $400K up front and $150K per race. 9 races. And then Carney wants to give us $200K up front and $200K per 10 race. So that's $2.2 million for this one. This is just under $1.5 million plus $400K, so that's 1.9, just under 1.9 million, or 1.5. So a best offer is this one. That one. Okay, we got our Carne up here. Peach Plum right there. Pretty cool. 1 million over 10 races. That's just $100,000 a race. 500,000 up front for 8 races. 6 races. 150,000. This one's a better deal. Maxwell's Beer. Slot 5. 10 races, 5th or above, and they'll pay us $800,000. Okay. Northern Harbor. 2nd or above. Well, there's no way I'm going to get any of those. There's no way I will ever get 2nd or above with the guys I got. But they're going to give me $1.2 million up front. I might just take that. And no offers available this time. Okay. Standings. So obviously you can see where standings are. Pretty awful. Calendar. Next race is March 31st. In 5 days. To focus on deceleration and medium speed corners. Top speed. Go back here. Design a new part. Suspension and brakes are crucial. We've already designed average brakes. 5 days. No way we're going to build new brakes for the next race. Let's look at the following race, Beijing. Top speed, acceleration, and brakes. Okay. So, top speed, 13 days. Deceleration. And so, do engine. Do top speed. This gives us a little better top speed. Improves our reliability by lowering our red zone. But we increase the risk of getting a penalty. Okay. Reliability on our brakes. Okay. Now if we add, let's say, performance. Okay. See, it's now 28 days. Because they're working on two different parts. Let's leave it at that. And guys, that's where we're going to end it for right now. And when we come back next week, we will move forward on the calendar to Yokohama and run the Yokohama race. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you will follow through with our MotorSport Manager series, which will come out on Saturdays.